Well, good morning. I am Buck. This is Shop Talk with Buck. Welcome to my shop. You ever have them mornings where nothing goes right, but it's really not horrible, but it's just needling you? For instance, my camera equipment. I got this little remote to where I can start and stop my phone. I got with the cameras facing so I can't see myself. It's better cameras. And I have a lot more versatility for zooming and whatnot. And I've just got used to doing that. Well, when I come here and I get ready and I start the film or start recording, it would beep. That would indicate that I was recording. That is significant in a way that this doesn't work every time. And when you least expect it, it did not record. Well, and what I do most of the time, if I'm making cuts and all, there's not a take two because I've made the cut. So I need to know the camera's on. And this morning, since I've had this equipment, it sucker would beep to let me know it's recording, but it will not do it today. The volume's up. And also, this Holy Land mics, I got two mics with a receiver. The receiver is mounted on a cold shoe on top of the phone. The thing about it is, it comes around and plugs into your phone. Well, about 1 or 2 times every 50 times you do this, it doesn't make a connection and it's like it's not there. Well, I'd be off in there talking something and you can't hear me. So one of my morning rituals is I've got to make sure that thing is hooked up and recording, hooked up to where you can hear me. But now, this thing is rendered useless because it works about 50% of the time, not 50%. 1 in 50 times, it won't work. And that'll be when you're doing something that there's no way to do a take two. I guess this has upset me to the point where it takes so long to do the videos. You know, time you set up and set the shots up, and it just takes a lot longer. Now your dang equipment's giving up on you for no reason. I had to pair the Holy Lands, and you just don't do that. I mean, I think I paired them. Well, no, they kind of, when I first opened them up, they went through the thing and it paired right away. And one time I was playing with it and trying to figure some settings out and whatnot, and I had to repair it. But then again, as long as I've had this stuff, it's only 2 times it's had to be paired. But I had to pair them this morning. I don't know. I got a feeling an update come through on my phone. And I think updates come through and you not know it. Because things just change. We should just leave it alone. I don't know what is going on, but I know it's screwed my little bitty world up. Because so many times I'll forget to turn the phone on, to record. And it seems like in one day it'll happen more than I'll have to go, a month and not forget it. And all of a sudden I forgot it 3 times. And so happened it was a time that, I can't do a take two, So recording this stuff, it just got harder. Just because it woke up in a brand new world this morning. I don't know. And I try to use my phone. I've got it. It's got a pretty decent camera. Y'all got to admit that it's not bad footage. It does a good job, and so therefore it's hard for me to justify buying a high dollar camera or SLRs, and as bad as I would like to have one. But it's hard to justify it. I've already got my phone. You just buy you a few accessories to kind of help you out. Do y'all know what a cold shoe is? Cold shoe is like on a 35 millimeter camera. It's what holds the flash on it. That's a cold shoe right there. I don't even know if that is what they call a cold shoe. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that, but anyway, that right there. This is one. The receiver plugs in right there, and then it got a cable comes around, plugs into your phone, and that's how you get your audio. Well, if it's on the other side, because, I try not to, I try to look at the camera. So many people, and I'm not ones that have been doing it a long time, that, they turn the phone around, and of course you lose some zoom capabilities and stuff like that, but they'll be looking to the side of you. And I try not to do that because that's kind of annoying. I want to talk to you. So I turn the phone around. It makes me look at the camera because that's all I've got to look at is those lenses. I can't see myself. But the thing about it is, that's where this comes in. I can start and stop and it would beep. Know that it's running. Not anymore, I don't guess. I still think an update come through and it's got everything. I've restarted everything. Because if I could do a playback, see, remember, I have to do a mic check to make sure it's made connection when I plug it in. So when I play it back, if I turn the volume up, then that will work. But not anymore. I don't know. It's something else to annoy you. When you come out of the gate, first thing in the morning, and you're kind of agitated, I'm just going to have to step back and daggone. I got to get I cannot let this ruin my whole day. Because what I've got, I tell you, I'll just bring y'all in here and I'll show you what I've got to do today. And I got to figure this out. I've never done this. I've seen it done, so forth and so on, but I've always used a table saw or something like that. But I come up with these that black streak again. All right, this is Shaker Style, Styles and Rails. Well, I kind of tried it, but it got just a little bit of, well, that there's pretty good. That's pretty good. This side right here is kind of mismatched, and the art to this thing is setting from one bit to the other. So that's what I've got to figure out today. And if you will look, I don't know. If you will look, I got a decent little old case for a cheap case. This thing right here, there's some pretty bad boys right there. So you get in that router table and you get them wings like that, you kind of need to be on your game or you wind up hurt, if you know what I mean. So what I was going to do today is see if I can't figure out the Styles and Rails there, because I'm going to work on the dry sync. Because this and that, and life and everything else, I've not been able to get on this, but I have cut these. This is what my Rails and Styles is going to be, because it's a shaker type door in the bottom of this thing. So I've got them. I'm trying to use up and get good at this thing. See, when I do the plywood, see, it's the same thing, but one side, which is the back side, it worked out fine. So I just got to figure that out before I screw up a bunch of. So this is oak right here, but I thought I had it figured out. Didn't quite. So that's what I was going to do today. And the thing about it is, your head needs to be right, if you know what I mean. You can't have this stuff like this kind of bothering you. If you ain't careful, I'll let this eat me up. I'm gonna have to figure this out. I mean, something as simple as hitting the button and hearing a beep, know you're good to go. It's not happening anymore, I don't guess. But it will start and stop it. But what's important about this, you can't rely on this. It'll do it 35 times in a row, and then unexpectedly, it didn't start it. So it's nice to hear that little beep to confirm, okay, we're going. But oh well, I'll figure it out, I guess. I tell you what, when I come down here today, I don't know if everybody knows, this is a shop talk type deal, and it started with me. This is kind of a warm up for the day to get everything, my mind and everything ready for filming, talking, and all that like that. So I started to air them, and the channel's not doing bad. I'm getting a lot of comments that. So, you know, I just decided I'd keep doing it. But so I was going to come down here today, and I really didn't know what I was going to talk about. I knew I had to do this, so I was going to talk about that a little bit. But then my equipment not working. It just did not. And I restarted and adjusted and everything, so I don't think it's going to work. So I got to rethink how to do. If this was a play or a skit or two people having a conversation or something like that, you know, they probably going to do a take 2, take 3, take 4 anyway and take the best takes. But in woodworking, once you make your cut or what have you, there's not a take 2. If you get it, or if you don't get it. I mean, you can't afford to cut everything 2 or 3 times just to get it. Make sure you got a take. So that's one thing. Because if it's destructive, it's hard to get it back. Once you finish a set of dovetails, you don't want to do another and just. I hope y'all understand what I'm saying, but it's done got aggravating, and the equipment ain't working. It's hard enough as it is. But I just have to come up with a different procedure to make sure I'm getting the shots. So I don't know. I used to look at myself all the time, and I put a piece of tape up there to draw my eyes to that camera, because it was about the size of a period on a end of a sentence on a piece of paper. So it's naturally your eyes would go to you. And so, but once I turned it around like I've got it now, the cameras are better because I've done it too, you know, and tried it out. It's a lot better. And also you got more versatility. I mean, you got a lot of zoom right there. You got one that's kind of macro. If you want to really get down there close, of course, if you're doing that, you're back here behind it where you can see it. So, I don't know. Just going to have to figure it out. So, I guess I will see y'all on. Oh, yeah. Well, this way I'll know you watched to the end. I have got what you call a trigger finger, come to find out. They got a long name for it. If the doctor had trouble pronouncing the name, I didn't even try. But it's about that long, and it's got, my mouth just don't work that way. Especially when he was having trouble pronouncing it. But anyway, it's that tenon that runs through here, and it goes through these little pulley-like things and guides. Well, it's swelling up. It's not letting my finger locks up. Well, I went and got a steroid shot, I believe it was. Anyway, I think it hurt like crazy, man. Anyway, I'm right there, and he said if it comes back in a month, come back to see me. Well, it lasted about 6 weeks, and it's back, and it kind of hurts, you know. But anyway, went to the doctor, and he gave me another steroid shot, but they're not comfortable at all. I mean, the thing hurt. He said, "But I get the same shot to go in," and he showed me where it had it marked, where he marked it. He cuts it right there and released one of them pulleys, and as he called them pulleys, that were, to me, it's kind of a guide, you know. But anyway, it's not wanting to go through there, and it's locking your finger up. So we're waiting for them to call back with the date. I guess they're checking with the insurance or whatever. You know how they are. To see when the surgery's going to be. But they said if, when I had the surgery, 3 weeks, no, he said heavy lifting. There's one thing I learned with the problems and stuff that my wife's had and whatnot. One of her surgeons said, you've got, when you have a procedure like this right here, you got a 3-week period, that thing needs to heal. He said, if you don't take advantage of that, it's not going to heal right. You got one shot at this, you know. So I'm gonna, there's not, for those 3 weeks, there's not much gonna be going on. I may come down there and talk to you, but there ain't much gonna be going on. Because once it heals up, I want to go and move on. So that's my outtake on it and the way I'm looking at it. But anyway, I will see you later. See you on the next one. Y'all be safe and have a wonderful day. I'm going to try not to let this stuff get me down, but have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next one.